Evening, everyone. So, I apologize if I'm a little off my game at the moment. I got some scheduling wrong today. Seems to be a going trend, seeing as I showed up an hour late for almost an hour late for my comp match with Smoke Adders this morning. So, yeah, in any case, we're going to a North America Division A versus B matchup. It's going to be EMP versus The Answer. This season, we've been mixing up Division A and B matches to get some more gameplay in, and to give the Division B guys a chance to see what they can do against Division A. Made for some interesting watching. We'll see how things play out. For those that have not seen our format, the Martial Olympiad is 8v8 across a series of 5 matches. For Drop 1, we do full conquest, and we bring out the heavy stuff. Teams are allowed 575 to 625 tons. Team 1 is the home team, and it's basically anything rolls. The only restrictions we put on teams, they are only allowed to use 1 hero per drop, and a given chassis can only be used 3 times across the whole series of matches. So, after drop 1, drops 2 and 3, we change maps. We go to Domination with lighter tonnage, 350 to 375 tons, and we take away lock-on weapons, so no LRMs, no streak SRMs, no ATMs. Your regular SRMs and MRMs, and I suppose if you wanted to bring rocket launchers, those are viable also. That's all you're allowed to play with. So 2 and 3 on the same map. Both teams get a chance to be on the Team 1 side. So if any map has a little bit of a bias in its positioning, both teams get a fair shake. Drops 4 and 5, we go back to Conquest. And for the season, we're using a drop ban system. Or map ban, I should say. There are 5 potential maps in the pool. Teams will alternate banning maps until we're left with whatever the map for the evening is going to be. So normally, we'd have a nice fancy interface to show you the map ban live. Given that, as I said, I apologize, I'm a little behind schedule. We're going to just take their word for it on what they choose. To start things out, as this is a week 4 drop, and actually, let me make sure that what I'm saying is correct. Okay, so yes, as this is a week 4 drop, we're going back to a classic map that just got put back into the game, Forest Colony Classic. A small map, 5 capture points, makes for exciting gameplay. We might even see tunnel rushes, depending on what the teams decide. For this first drop, EMP will be on the Team 1 side, The Answer will have Team 2 side. So at the moment, I am in lobby with both teams. We are just waiting for one more player to get pulled in. So we have full lobbies on both sides. I do have a mech bay or 2 to give away this evening. To get in on that, you need to be active in chat. So, we're on a 5-minute delay. Means that I won't see what you're saying for 5 minutes, which makes responding a little weird, but going to try and keep an eye on chat as well as we go through the evening. I want to see hype for EMP and the answer. Keep things exciting. The other annoying bit is because I had to jump straight into this, we do not have transcoding. Thanks, Twitch. So if the bit rate is too high for you to keep up with, at the end of the match, you will be able to go and rewatch it from the videos section, and you can choose whatever bit rate works best for you then. I apologize that didn't get transcoding on the first try. So as I said, stick around, be active in chat. We got mech bays to give away. We're going to have awesome Division A versus Division B action to watch. And then if that's not enough, we're only week 4. We got 7 weeks of matches scheduled. So there will be more mech on mech action to watch on this channel, MWO Leagues 2, MWO Leagues 3. You can also, if you want, hit up the MWO Leagues YouTube to watch past matches. In short, if for whatever reason you're not getting enough MechWarrior competitive action out of what is being put together here, you're insane and should seek medical attention. In the meantime, as noted, EMP versus the answer, we're just waiting on one more player to get in to get this first drop underway. So while we wait for that, what else can I bring you up to speed on? Let's take a quick look at some of the latest match results to get posted. So, for instance, today we've got Majestic 12 played I Hate My Team. Majestic 12 was able to take the win. That's in EU Division B. Then a match I participated in, 228th Death from Below versus Smoke Adders 505th. 228th Death from Below was able to take it pretty decisively. 4 drops to R1. Very well played on their part. That match was streamed that I know of, so that is viewable in the archives if you want to check it out. Yesterday, MS Crab People went up against White Knight Legion. White Knight Legion squeaked out a win on that one. And just participating in the lobby chat here between the two teams. A bit longer of a delay than we were anticipating. So, we're going to figure out the map man now, so we can determine what the map is going to be for drops 4 and 5. Because I don't have the pretty system, we're doing it in chat. EMP gets the first ban. And to give you an idea of what we're banning, we've got Alpine Peaks, River City, Rubelite Oasis, Terra Therma, and Viridian Bog are the 5. So EMP kicks Terra to the curb. Means it is now the answer's turn to ban. The answer opts to ban Alpine. EMP is very quick to turn around and ban Bog. So that leaves us either Rubelite or River City. What's it gonna be? We are going to be playing drops 4 and 5 on Rubelite Oasis. So again, as noted, that's going to be drops 4 and 5. Teams are allowed 480 tons. We don't set a minimum. They can divvy it up how they want. We're going to lock them to only a maximum of 3 mechs in a given weight class, however. So, no 8-man light rushes, unfortunately. And still waiting for that 8th player. For those that haven't done this before, this is the definition of herding cats. We've got 16 or more players spread across the globe, coordinating through email, Discord, TeamSpeak, MWO chat, carrier pigeon, smoke signals, etc. Getting everyone on the same schedule so that when you say 9 o'clock, they all know what you mean. And in the same place at the right time. Again, the only way to describe it, herding cats. The good news is, I see 8 players in both lobbies. So, EMP, being Team 1, locks first. Once they're locked in, the answer can look at their drop points and shuffle things around if they think they can get some insight into their strategy based on how they've arranged themselves. Then they lock in. Then comes the fun part. We do this. So just waiting now. EMP has locked. So we should hopefully be getting a match underway here shortly. The answer is pretty well set on where they want to drop. Interestingly, if you can make it out, it looks like EMP has thrown mechs in every dropship. Okay, they've locked and ready. We're going to do this. First drop of the series, EMP versus the answer. Div A versus Div B on Forest Colony Classic. And here is exciting, dreary, hard to see Forest Colony Classic. If you never got a chance to play this back in the day when it was in the rotation, fun map. Things happen quick. So, looking at the Team 1 side, Imperial, we've got a Direwolf, Summoner, Crab, Bloodaxe, Hunchback 2C, Madcat 2, Mauler, and a Warhawk Prime. 42 has brought an Assassin, Arctic Wolf, Annihilator, Madcat 2, Summoner, 3rd Annihilator, and a Warhawk Prime. So, they've got some big, beefy mechs. EMP is a bit more spread in their weight.
We've captured resource point Sigma.
Spread push forward by EMP, utilizing terrain to move up. 42 putting Subwoofer on a high point while he's had to back down due to incoming shots. Good chunk of their mass going water. Zudakai coming across with them. He's out in the open for quite a while, though. That's exposing him to 5 or 6 mechs at least. Actually, it looks like EMP here to have 7 mechs that get lines of fire on him, down to 40%. And he did not survive the crossing. The answer is light mechs, looking to see if they can get in personal on EMP, cause some damage. Road Tiger in while Tolson thinks better of it, is now getting focused down by 2 of EMP's heavies, down to 31%, 28%, likely not going to survive that encounter, and goes down. But he did manage to drop Mighty Tyrant to 45%. Tolson thought about poking back in and realized that that is not a scrum he wants a part of. Meanwhile, the rest of the answer have swung through the water, are approaching the boat. EMP has rotated to match. They've got 4 mechs on the water, starting to barn door the boat a little bit, but well, not quite committing. Tolson and the Assassin goes down. Mighty Tyrant's down to 34%, where they were able to beat him up. The answer's got a couple very hurt Annihilators, Windscape, and one of them drops. Lurch is second to go. Subwoofer is down to 34% in the Summoner. Celerith finds an open component, finishes him off. Dacron is next as EMP pushes away from the land to circle Dacron. The Annihilator drops first, however, and now it's down to just Dacron, and that's it. Clean sweep for Imperial. Caps never really entered the equation. Gonna do a little bit of bookkeeping. Give you some team stats to look at. Now, let's give you some prettier stats with more details. We jump back into the lobby. Looking at the overall stats, we're going to start with EMP Bowser in the Direwolf, slugging out nearly 1,200 points of damage with a 622 match score in an 8v8. Chimera 712 in the Warhawk, and then fairly evenly distributed damage spread from there on the EMP side. Looking at the Answers side, Raptor in his Annihilator put out 612 damage, team lead, and then fairly even damage spread from there, although Zudakai and the Mad Cat, as predicted with that bold water crossing where he chose to do it, he just did long enough to use that mech's potential. So now, while they switch up the lobby, we are going to HPG Manifold for our next 2 drops. The teams do not switch sides. Makes things easy for me, a little easier on the teams. As EMP is still team number 1, they get to lock in first. So at the moment, looks like they're shuffling potentially players around, or they're having to switch up some mech builds, so don't see a full lobby for them yet. So looking at the map, they will be Team 1 in light blue. The answer will be Team 2, red, on the map. Tonnage has dropped down, and we have tossed out lock-on weapons for these next 2 drops. we wait for them. Let's flip back over and take another look at Forest Colony. So EMP, for the most part, ignored caps. Both teams got their back cap, but no one actively pursued Kappa or Theta. So, ignored. EMP set up a nice concave using the terrain with a couple more mechs here to give overwatch and map control. 42, the answer, sent a lot of their mass around here, and then we had the unfortunate Zudakai who did his water crossing on this side of the rock, which is why he got focused down hard and fast. There was just nowhere to get cover from EMP's control points for far too long. In a mech that heavy, you're just not going to survive that crossing. Once 42 pushed up to the boat, EMP massed their forces and shoved into them as a unit, focusing down individual mechs one by one and very effectively just rolled through the answer's line. So, short, sweet, and dirty. Very well played by EMP. I think 42 is going to go back and look at this and ask themselves why they had that one player make that water crossing where he did. I don't know if that was a map misread on his part, miscommunication, or just they expected to be able to do that more safely with EMP taking a different setup than what they ultimately faced. It'll be interesting to find out down the line what happened there and why. The answer did send a couple lights in over here to do some harassing, but EMP had 3 mechs at any given time that were able to look, and they only committed 1 light into the scrum at a time. So, did some damage, but it wasn't enough to really upset EMP's placement. So, meanwhile, I will flip us back to the lobby. Get us looking back at HPG Manifold Domination. Take a quick look at chat. And good, I see people are active. After this drop, I will do the first of the 2 Mech Bay giveaways this evening. So, looking back at the lobbies, I see a full complement of 8 players on EMP in Team 1, so hopefully they will get their positions sorted shortly and lock in so that the answer can have a chance to respond, and we will get this second drop underway. If you missed the first drop, spoilers, EMP won. But we'll see if this map gives the answer a chance to respond and blood EMP's nose a little bit. HPG Manifold is much larger. You've got multiple levels you can fight on, in addition to having the basement. So a lot more strategies are viable. You've got more time to execute your strategies just due to the map size. Even with the pressure that it being domination mode puts on you, this map can play slower. But we'll see what happens. If both sides decide to go full brawl into each other, I suspect, based on what we just saw, EMP is going to have the better of the answer on this one. But, as always, I tend to guess wrong, so we'll see if I can continue my my incorrect calling streak. So, meanwhile, EMP has shuffled things around some more. I see mechs going ready, however. So hopefully, they'll be locking in shortly. If need be, we do have time limits that can be imposed. I can force teams to lock where they are, but not quite ready to crack the whip just yet. Well, we'll let them play for a minute. We'll play with the maps and see what your options are. Again, as before, EMP is going to be Team 1. So depending on where they place their mechs, you can get a little bit of a read for what to expect as the opposing team. If you see a lot of mechs in the Charlie dropship, that means that Delta 4, Delta 5 is going to be hot early. So that will determine whether or not you want to wait your drops in the Bravo dropship or not to quickly respond by coming out this gate, or keep your mass grouped up down here and utilize these gates to come in as a larger unit, but it'll take you a little bit longer to meet their mass. So this is where the lock order comes into play. Whoever's in Team 1 basically has to set their strategy, Team 2 gets to respond to it. This is also why we'll be doing this drop twice with the teams flipped, so that both teams have the opportunity to have that advantage. I see all 8 green for EMP. And just as soon as I say that, they make one last shift and then tell me they're locked. So it's now on the answer. I'll flip back to the lobby. A little hard to make out, but EMP has opted to put mechs on every dropship. So this will play into how 42 decides to play this map. Usually at this level, teams have multiple strategies planned ahead. So, if they were initially planning wall strat and see this mech placement, that may be enough to get them to decide that, no, instead we're going to do a brawl push through the Charlie gate. Don't know. Okay. And the answer has locked. So we are going to get this underway in a moment. We will now find out how the teams have opted to play this. So get your predictions in now. Are we going to see wall strats? Are we going to see a basement hiding party? Are we going to see straight up brawl? Are we going to see range control? It's all possible. And for whatever reason, here is the satellite dish we have them fighting over. Why? I don't know. So once again, we're going to start with Team 1, Imperial this time around. We've got a Wolfhound, Huntsman, Nova, Assassin, Huntsman, Nova, Flea, and a Night Guard. Bring a little extra weight to the drop. Sneak back across. We're going to see what the answer has brought. If you look, they did put one mech off on the far drop. As they roll in, splitting the gates, we have Vulcan, Hunchback, Shadowcat, Vulcan, Wolfhound, Linebacker, Thunderbolt Hero, and another Wolfhound. Zudakai and the Shadowcat up high on the wall already, giving Overwatch for the answer. Seleth looking to trade with him a little bit, the Wolfhound. Meanwhile, the rest of EMP is mostly grouped up. They do have one unit high on the wall. And it looks like we're going to have a fight over the spine and top. So, fairly traditional HPG action at the moment. UAVs flying, strikes flying. Pro Tiger picked up a little bit of that strike. So EMP balled up nicely. 42 as well as we fight control of the spine. Seleth and his Wolfhound down to 69% already. He's staying in the back. Losing lights early. Bowser has snuck around on the side, and the Night Gyre drops a Wolfhound. Night Gyre and Sneaky usually aren't used in the same sentence, but he's pulled it off so far. As EMP has pushed around, they are now on the answer side of the spine, which puts the momentum in their favor. Braddock takes down the linebacker. Dacron getting focused now in his Thunderbolt. Imminent drops him. Lurch takes out a Nova of Imperial. And it's going quickly now. Hard to see where the fight is to watch. Tolson gets collected. But 42 players left. Zudakai and the Shadowcat. Nothing really to shoot at the moment. Vulcan is underneath, and there's the line. We're going to see him bail out this exit or stay underneath. Legged and gone. So at this point, EMP has mechs in the circle. The only thing Zudakai can do from here is poke at anyone in the exterior to stop, and he overheats. So if he could get shots on anyone that was in the circle and not underneath, he could at least stop the clock. But at this point, I don't even think he can get to the circle in time. Hard to tell if EMP has anyone in. Yep, they do have one mech. Seleth and the Wolfhound. I think EMP is going to come. Nope, Seleth is going to park. So, thought for a moment there, EMP might bring all their mechs out of the circle to go for the 8 mech kill. Braddock and the Nova gets up there, but is not able to take Zudakai out before the clock ends the match in Imperial's favor. So, 42 not able to take the match. But as the stats show, they were able to get some kills, and they were able to keep EMP from getting a pure 8-man wipe. So hanging in there. Going back to the fancier stats. This lobby will take a little bit longer as the teams have to swap. So while the teams are doing that, after we review the stats in detail, I will kick off a Mech Bay giveaway. So let's look at the numbers. On EMP side, there were no real standout damage numbers this time around. Radek stands out on the kill count with 4 kills. So he single-handedly got more than half the kills for EMP that time around. But damage is a decent spread across the board, with Bowser doing a nice sneak maneuver to flank into the answer. Looking at the answer side, Lurch 98 with 550 damage was the damage leader and kill leader. So I've got to go back and rewatch. I only see 2 kills awarded total for the answer, but 3 dead on EMP side, and 108 damage from Rick Rom. So there might have been a little bit of team action there. Otherwise, damage spread is fairly decent on 42 side. Raptor and the Wolfhound got called out a little early, along with Bro Tiger. Bowser participating in those early snipes, so that depressed their damage numbers a little bit. So, let's give away a mech bay. We've got 64 of you that have been active up to this point. Let's see which of you gets the mech bay. Okay, 707. If you are not a bot, you can prove it by whispering Curl on TV in Twitch. Once you do so, I will give you a code. If you do not whisper me within a day or so, the code goes back in the pool. You don't get a mech bay. It's a simple system. I'm not going to chase you down. Follow the instructions. Win fabulous prizes. So, a little note-taking for myself. And of course, this also means that everyone needs to now be calling rigged and that he's a bot, whether or not he actually is, because we have traditions in chat. Alright, so let's see where we left off. The answer is now in the Team 1 slot, EMP in Team 2. As the answer is in Team 1, they need to arrange and lock first. While they do that, let's go to the map strat. So this was a fairly straightforward fight. I'll make sure I'm looking at the right spot on the map here, because it's not the clearest in the world, but 42 set up on, EMP set up on their side of the spire. Did I? Yep, I got that wrong. Spine here. EMP set up on their side. Answer set up on their side. Both sides had a wall mech, but the bulk of the fight was done on the ground. The real interesting maneuver of the game was Bowser sneaking around here with that Night Gyre and getting back shots early on into the answer. He was able to crit and seriously open up a couple mechs early on, which then allowed, can't remember which player, but another EMP player to get back in and very quickly knock down the answer's numbers. Once that happened, EMP full pressed into the answer's mass, cleaned them out, leaving the lone Shadowcat far on the wall for the answer to try and figure out what he could do, which really at that point was nothing. Before EMP could get a mech up there and knock him off the wall, however, they were able to run the clock out on the circle. So meanwhile, both teams have locked in. They've launched the lobby. And if you thought this was going to be a radio cast, you will be sorely disappointed. So let's see what happens this time. 42 tried a fairly traditional strategy and just not quite able to execute it as well as they would have liked. Let's see how they change it up. As the answer is Team 1, we're going to look at what they brought first. So we've got a linebacker, Nova, Phoenix Hawks, Mistlink, linebacker, Hunchback 2C, another Mistlink, and a Nova. They've opted to keep all their mechs together this time. Meanwhile, EMP, as Team 2, has done a spread drop. See Charlemagne in the Flea very quickly screaming out and getting into the circle for EMP, starting that clock early. Off in the distance, you can see a mech working his way onto the wall without jump jets. Imperial has brought another Night Gyre with Bowser as a pilot. Kentaro, Vulcan, Mislinks, Nova, Linebacker, Flea, and another Vulcan. Vulcans have proven very popular despite being a relatively new mech. So, EMP's mass has gone straight for the top and are ignoring the spine this time. The answer's set up to go top or spine. They're massing up. This feels more like they're going to try to push the top itself without taking the spine. So more straight over the center as opposed to sideways. EMP is thinking the same thing. They've taken the top with authority. So the question now, the answer, do you rotate, is what looks like they're going to do. So rotate and push the top. We've got 4 of their mechs up there, 5 now. Pushing into EMP at an angle. And actually pushing EMP mostly off the top. Although not before taking some serious damage. Throw Tiger again in the linebacker. Getting chewed up early. Subwoofer in the Nova. Down. I think they dropped over the top a little prematurely. Chimera takes out Bro Tiger. Bowser facing 2 42 mechs with a little bit of distance support. Zudokai backs off. Raptor in the Nova continues to press and drops as a result. Windscape in his Hunchback is facing 3 mechs at this point. Not a good fight to be in. And at this point, we're already down to Dacron and the Mislinks by himself. He's realizing that this is not a fight he's going to win, so he is booking it for some cover by dropping down, but EMP is hot on his heels and they drop him. So a quick finish to the brawl by EMP. Just Call Me Ash and the Kintaro was the only EMP mech dropped. Here's your overall stats. I will get you detailed stats here in just a moment. So looking at your detailed stats, we're going to look at the answer first as they were Team 1. Damage suppressed across the board. I liked what 42 did right up until they dropped off to continue their press. I would have liked to have seen them just stay on top and use that as a power position instead of having a few mechs drop into the scrum and split their power. So as a result, damage numbers depressed across the board. Windscape and the Hunchback 2C topping out at 220. And a struggle from there to put damage numbers up for 42. On EMP side, your top damage was Chimera in the linebacker with 385. Bowser with 111 damage. Oopsie. So the numbers tell the story we just watched. That was a quick and decisive mop-up by EMP of a not quite complete 42 maneuver. So I'm going to tally this up, get the scoreboards updated. So at this point, with 3 drops won, EMP has technically won the series, but 42 is not completely out of it yet. They can still try to rack up some points by at least winning a drop. And they are at least getting a showing for themselves by getting some kills in. Again, this is a Division B team going up against a Division A team, so we expect the odds to be stacked against them. I give them full points for answering the call and at least bloodying EMP's nose a little bit with kills as they can. So bear that in mind when comparing the team's performance. Meanwhile, we are now on drop 4. So as chosen by the map ban phase earlier, we are going to Rubelite Oasis, and we are going back to Conquest. Both teams are allowed up to 480 tons. Lock-on weapons are back on the table. For this first drop on Rubelite, Team 1 is going to be the answer. EMP will be Team 2. So Rubelite is another fun map that lends itself to interesting gameplay because you've got multiple lanes to maneuver as well as multiple levels to fight on, with passages crisscrossing the different levels. Theta in particular is a challenge because it's exposed by sitting nearly on the top of a ridge. So when you push over to get it, you end up exposing yourself to multiple levels and lanes to the opposing team, and you don't really have good lines of attack for yourself against that enemy. So generally when you're going to push Theta, you need to have support either by going en masse or having mechs aligned elsewhere on the map to provide that cover fire that you can't really effectively achieve from Theta itself. The tonnage is up. I expect both teams to utilize a good chunk of it. They are limited to only 3 mechs in a given weight class, so as noted earlier, we're not going to see an 8 mech light rush, as entertaining as that can be. But that's not to say that they're not going to pack 3 lights and 3 very fast mediums to try and go for a cap control game. The caps along the edges, Gamma, Kappa, Sigma, Epsilon, are isolated enough that you can, as long as you keep your lights alive, run around and frustrate the other team with a full cap theory. So we'll see how we play this. We've got some reports of Discord acting up for EMP, so that we may have a temporary pause. If that's the case, we will give away more stuff to take up time. I do have one more mech bay that I can fire off. Meanwhile, 7 Zebras, it's on you to whisper me on Twitch to collect your mech bay. Otherwise, I'm putting it back in the pool. Taking a quick look at chat, remembering that you guys are 5 minutes behind me. And no hating on the answer here, guys. As noted, they are going up against a higher division team. So, the odds are stacked against them. Meanwhile, looking at the lobbies, I see 8 players and reasonable tonnage for the answer. I see 8 players for EMP. However, they don't need to be ready yet. It's on the answer to arrange and lock in first. So we'll see how things play out here. Okay, good. Looks like they've got their Discord woes sorted. We will see. And they're trying to trigger a giveaway in lobby chat. I'm half tempted to give them full points for that and give away a mech bay. You know what? If I don't hear from 7Zebra7 shortly on Twitch, I may just do that. So it's on you, 7Zebra7. I realize I got a 5-minute delay here, but clock is ticking. Claim your stuff or I'm giving it to someone else. So, looking at the lobbies, EMP has their players all readied up. I think they want to get this underway, despite the fact that they're under no obligation to yet, so. Seven Zebra 7, you haven't whispered me yet. I have a mech bay with your name on it, but not forever. While we wait, now's the time to guess what we're going to see. I already see someone mentioning Lermstrat. EMP has done it before. Walk-on weapons are allowed. And I've seen LRMs played usably on this map. Nice. So the teams are now calling their own members bots in chat. The concept of doing a private lobby giveaway is getting more and more entertaining. So yeah, do you think EMP is going to go LRMs for lulz? They've already got their mechs positioned and locked in. That does imply that they're not going to pay attention to what 42 does for layout. They've got something up their sleeve ready to roll. This could be the LRM strat. Or maybe they're going to really troll us, and it's all rocket launchers. You get one shot. 8v8. Can they do it? Okay, the answer has locked in. EMP didn't bother to say locked, they just hit the go button. So obviously, they're ready. Let's see what the teams have for us this evening. Again, this is drop 4. 480 tons allowed. Lock-on weapons are allowed. We are on Rubelite Oasis playing Full Conquest. Beautiful, scenic, lovely Rubelite Oasis. Where I can't tell if that's supposed to be snow, blowing sulfur. Miserable, I think is really the only way to describe it. So, the answer being Team 1, we will look at them first. They have opted to drop as a tight group. We've got a Summoner, Vulcan, Flea, Hunchback 2C, Madcat 2, Warhawk, Dragon, and a Hellbringer. Dacron almost made me mad by stopping in the cap point. Except, now Herod, yeah, turn. You got to, no, Dacron, don't go back for it. You don't have to worry about it. When your team's stomping through a drop point, don't hit the brakes. Trust that your team will take care of it. It's kind of like when you're brawling through a team. You go through, you take shots as you do not stop. Trust that your team will finish the mech as you go by it.
Theta is controlled by the enemy.
EMP. Quick cap on Theta by sending Piranha and Osiris. We've got some early DACA fire going across the map. EMP has brought Hunchback 2C, Annihilator, Osiris, Wolfhound, Madcat 2, Piranha, Hellbringer, and a Supernova. Did Bowser bring the lerms? Is the game going to acknowledge that I'm clicking? No. So, the answer, setting up high. Looks like they want to trade. This is a good spot, gives you overwatch of Theta and Epsilon. EMP actually bothering with caps. They have 3 cap points to 42's singular. We've got some mechs up high on control points. Bowser just charging ahead in his summoner. Mighty Rant's got a nice low peaking point for looking back over at the answer. Gives you an idea what the answer can see from here. The thing to watch out for when you're up here are lights getting into your back from this ramp. As this strike comes in, does some damage, but nothing critical yet. Dragon and Vulcan for 42 trying to test Theta, but as noted, EMP has overwatch on it from multiple sides. To push up over into that ridge, you're exposing to a lot of mechs at once. The Flea has found Bowser. Bowser packing ATMs with some backup lasers versus that small laser flea, who at the moment is doing a good job ticking Bowser off and keeping him from beating up on the other mechs. However, just took a sharp burn from Bowser, trying to find a way out of there while Seleth has shown up to give support and quickly knocks the flea down. First loss for the answer. Bowser is now back in the fight, uses those ATMs at near optimal range to drop the summoner. Row Tiger and the Hunchback has dropped down from the high point. Herod and the Hellbringer is down to 51%. That strike doing good damage on him. Zudakai still doing overwatch from up high. Row Tiger trying to find a line. Charlemagne drops the Vulcan. That was Wolfhound versus Vulcan fight. Dragon is the next recipient of ATMs. Bowser at 54%, but still has his full mech. If he is able to get a lock on you at optimal range, those ATMs will rip you up. Scrum at Theta is about done at this point. EMP has pushed up to it and has moved 42 mechs back. Tolson unfortunately overheats, leaving Herod at 37% in the Hellbringer as the lights come up the ramp, as I warned. Herod gets cleaned out. It is now just Zudakai in the Warhawk, who overheats, but not fatally yet, as his full mech loses a PPC, down to 37%. Now has mechs on all sides, drops down, hoping that'll get him out of the line of fire, but instead that doesn't manage to keep EMPs, lasers, and Daka Fire off him. So EMP is able to wipe the slate clean, killing all of the answer, while also dominating the cap points. Quick overview of stats while I get the detailed stats loaded up for you. Get the lobby scores updated. Teams will be switching sides for this final drop, so we'll have a few moments in the lobby, assuming EMP doesn't put the pedal down. Meanwhile, let's go back to the stats for drop 4. Looking at the answer side first, as they were Team 1. They had 3 mechs nearing 400 damage, so their positioning choice did allow them to get some damage on the board. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to turn that into kills. Zudakai, Herod, and Tolson, and Warhawk, Hellbringer, and Madcat 2 respectively, doing the bulk of the work on their side. Looking on EMP's side, Bowser with the ATMs getting 735 damage and 2 kills, but Charlemagne and the Wolfhound with 305 points of damage managed to squeeze in 3 kills, and nicely, only 1 team damage total for all of EMP this time. So, good damage across the board for EMP, and cleaner this time. But Bowser and that summon are demonstrating why you need to pay very close attention to where an ATM heavy mech is. When they are in the optimal range of those ATMs, that quad ATM 12 dishes out a brutal amount of damage, even if it's not able to be pinpoint. So let's jump back to the lobby. as the teams get ready for this last drop. They have swapped sides around. It is on EMP to lock in first. So last time around, 42 was Team 1. They were trying to utilize the high points for Overwatch, but EMP did a good job spreading, not allowing 42 to quickly focus down any given mech. EMP's lights were very effective at looking for weakened 42 mechs, although I do give 42's Flea credit for initially tangling with Bowser in that Stalker, taking him, or Summoner, taking him out of the equation for a bit. Unfortunately, EMP got assistance there in the form of Seliph and the Piranha quickly enough that the Flea was not able to knock Bowser out of the equation permanently. Also got to see, as I warned, EMP was able to get lights into the back of the 42 Overwatch mechs using that ramp. I got to experience a variation on that earlier today. If you're up in that Overwatch area, you need to know when to back out of there. Otherwise, you get railroaded very quickly. It's a tough spot to be in if you don't have good awareness of where the enemy team is, as I found out. So, looks like EMP is taking their time locking in. So, quick check says that Zebras has not whispered me yet. So, I'm going to hold on to your code for a little bit longer, but not forever. Meanwhile, let's see if we can give away one more mech bay. We are up to 66 of you active in chat. Virgo Bros, I'm 75% certain you're not a bot. Whisper me, Curl on TV on Twitch, collect a mech bay code. It's a simple system, although apparently Zebra 7 hasn't figured it out yet. I'd like to give away these codes, otherwise they just take up room on my spreadsheets. Help me have nice clean spreadsheets. Collect your codes, people. Take a quick moment. I'm going to put that into my notes. I have 2 pending mech bay awards. People just have to collect them. Meanwhile, it looks like EMP has decided that they know what they're going to do for this last drop. They have all of their pilots ready. They just need to declare locked so 42 can respond. And we'll see how this last match goes. Again, the score at this point is 4 drops for EMP, none for the Answer. The Answer, however, have managed to at least squeeze 4 kills in across those drops, so it is not a complete clean sweep for EMP, despite being the higher div team. Okay, looks like both are ready. Once they hit the button, we will drop into the lobby. Do I radio cast or not? I haven't done a radio cast in a bit. It could be fun. No. Once again, welcome back to Scenic, and I use giant air quotes for that, Rubelite Oasis. So, as Team 1, we will go take a look at EMP first. Again, they are fully balled up. We have Hellbringer, Mad Cat 2, Wolfhound, Annihilator, Osiris, Supernova, with Bowser as the pilot, Celeth and Piranha, Imminent, and the Hunchback 2C. Does this sound familiar?
We have Gamma.
Sneak back across.
Enemy forces have
We'll
Sigma.
be able to catch the answer doing a conga line through Sigma. And the answer has brought a Cicada, Hunchback 2C, Hellbringer, Warhawk, Mad Cat 2, Flea, Summoner, and another dragon. Celeth a little slower getting to Theta this time. The Goat and the Osiris and Charlemagne the Wolfhound coming to support. They are going to get Theta.
Resource point Theta is ours.
Tolson in the Mad Cat has Overwatch. So stopping them from getting much of a cap on it, but that was all it took. Tickets are now counting in EMP's favor.
They've taken Epsilon.
So, this is another dangerous Overwatch position that they're setting up on. If EMP wants to, they can ball up, charge across here, and get right into 42 if they stay put here. However, looks like Raptor and Herod are not going to use that spot. They're going to instead push
Command
forward.
confirming that we have possession of Kappa.
I like that placement a little better, although Raptor is awfully exposed with no place to hide. So his intention is not to stay on a control point, but push forward. We've got the Flea and Cicada looking to get into the back of EMP. Let's see if they can pull it off. Watching the answer's damage numbers at the moment. This is mostly light trading. We're not missing too much yet. Windscape is going to decap Gamma. They will then have an opportunity. Row Tiger. Not spotted by Vexus or Chimera. However, he's going to be in their field of view shortly. Looks like he's going to try and go grab Kappa. If we see Celeth go right, they're aware of them. Okay, I do not believe EMP is aware. Raptor and the Dragon
Resource point Gamma.
apparently got himself exposed for too long. Herod has dropped down. EMP is going to bring their lights around into the back of Tolson and Herod, which is not going to be good for them. Except Zudakai and Subwoofer have some Overwatch. Subwoofer, while he was moving for Overwatch, however, instead got picked off by Mighty Rant and Imminent. This is what I said about this being an interesting map. You've got multiple lanes of fire, however, for every lane you think you're looking down, another lane can take shots on you. So you have to have your head on a swivel. Subwoofer dropping down. I don't know if he's quite planning on doing that or not. Vexus finally spotted the Cicada going wide, cleans him out. We've got Action going on everywhere. Hera down to 31%, Tolson 59%. Bowser in the Supernova takes out Subwoofer in the Summoner. EMP's got pretty good map control at the moment. Bowser takes out Zudakai.
We have Gamma.
Again, that Summoner being allowed to get within optimal range of the ATMs. As you saw, he just ripped Tolson in half. Now looking at Herod, cleans Herod out. Was not able to get Tolson out. One of his teammates got the kill shot in beforehand. We're down to Dacron in the Hunchback 2C. Doing what he can, but he is now eating strikes and getting the full care and attention of the entire Imperial squad. So again, another 8-0 wipe for Imperial. The Answer able to drag the match out a little longer that time, but not quite able to get traction this time around. There are your lobby stats. There are your detailed stats. The official match results: EMP 5, The Answer 0. EMP was not able to get a perfect score of 40 kills, however. The Answer was able to squeeze out one survivor and drop two, so EMP ends it with 39 kills. The Answer was able to scratch out 4 kills on EMP. Looking at the damage numbers, Team 1, EMP. Your top damage this time was not Bowser. Chimera in the Annihilator cranked out 852, took 2 kills. Bowser at 573 and 3 of the kills. Fairly even and expected damage spread from there. On the Answer side, Tolson the Mad Cat 2 putting out 377 damage. Reasonable number. Dacron, the last survivor, at 251, and then from there we go sub 200. As again, 42 just did not quite have a strategy that was able to either confuse or effectively put down EMP, unfortunately. But good match on both sides. Good to see 42 show up and at least keep things interesting. Again, Division B team going up against the Division A team. There was no expectations of a Cinderella event. The odds were against them. The fact that they were at least able to scratch out some kills and not allow EMP to do complete wipes across the board, I give them full points for that. So well done on the Answer side. And EMP is, well, EMP. We've seen them perform before. Not much more you can say about that. They had good strategy for every map and a good read on what the Answer was doing, which is what you would expect of a Division A squad. So, that said, I'm going to call it for the evening. As I look at my notes, 707, Virgo Pros, I have mech bay codes waiting for you. You have to whisper me. I'm not chasing you down. If I don't hear from you, I may do something goofy like give your mech bays to the players that were in this match, because why not? So, if you don't want to see your mech bays given away to someone else, claim them. I am Kurlon. This is MWO Comp. This is a North America Division A versus Division B Week 4 matchup. Stay tuned to this channel for more mech action. Join us on the MWO Comp Discord to discuss this and other leagues that are going on. And I look forward to seeing you on the battlefield. Good evening, folks.